Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here, and I am here with a very special guest, the winner of the 2014 Elite Eight, the person who pretty much dominated the WDWMagic Imagineering landscape for the past year. Give a big round of applause to MonorailRed. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm doing just fine, just fine. I very much apologize that I couldn't make the scheduled time yesterday.
Hey, no worries. I had less packing to do than I thought I did, so it's all good.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, oh, I think this bus trip is going to be like an hour long. It'll give me plenty of time to prepare. And then I ended up being on the bus for 3 hours. So,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
Okay, so, Monorail Red, you, of course, are best known for your artistic flair here on WDW Magic, along with, plenty of creativity, a lot of detail put in your projects. Definitely one of the big contributors that we've had over the past year. And, yeah, unfortunately, you're going to be going away right as I'm kind of coming into the community, which is kind of sad. But
I do like what you and Joker are doing, though, with the videos. It just brings a whole new level, and I can't wait to see you guys in competitions. Even though I'm not going to be there, I'm going to be watching. I'm always going to be watching, so don't...
Oh, no, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for
I'm
sure.
excited. I'm excited for where this is going, so I just want to give you guys props for that, first of all.
Yeah, by all means, this is like, I started, like, this whole Imagineering thing, it goes back, like, even before we started So You Want to Be an Imagineer on Vision's Fantastic, it goes back, like, all the way to a site on mousetimes.com, which I don't even think exists anymore. And so this was, like, I swear, like, literally maybe, like, 10, 12 years ago. I was but a wee 13-year-old at the time. And I was like, hey, guys, we should have an Imagineering competition. And lo and behold, I believe that was the first one. And look where we are now. We've got this awesome community of people. We've got everyone kind of lining up to do these competitions. Tons of different concepts for competitions going up the pipeline. It's going to be awesome. And yeah,
Definitely.
broadcasting is definitely something that I've always wanted to do. I've studied podcast and Nostalgia Critic and stuff like that for, a good chunk of my teenage life. And yeah, starting out this YouTube channel and doing it for the past year and a half, it's really rewarding. And, now that I have a real home for it, and now that I have, something where I can really just broadcast to you guys and not just be like, okay, guys, who out there on YouTube wants to watch a video about us recapping Gotham or something like that? It's like we're going to get much more focused. So it's going to be a good time. But alas, let's talk about your Elite Eight career. So
Okay.
first of all, can you tell me when you first stumbled onto the WDWMagic forums and what your first impression was?
When I first stumbled, it was spring 2013, and Bryce M was having a Master of the Park Spring Challenge.
Okay.
And I'm trying to think of how to put this. When I was back in high school, I was a huge Kingdom Keepers fan. I don't know if you ever heard of the books. But there used to be
yeah, I've heard of them. I should get into them at some point.
and they had this online community. Well, it shut down, and I just
Yeah.
migrated to look at other things, and I loved Imagineering. I mean, I loved it. And then I thought, hey, there's this competition. I'll give it a shot. And then it just kept going from there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the really cool things about WDWMagic. Like, on Vision's Fantastic, we had So You Want to Be an Imagineer, which would kind of play out in almost kind of like a Survivor-style timetable where we'd have, like, one season in the spring, one season in the fall. And then between then, there were just kind of a bunch of active brainstorming threads. But what you guys do is, like, so much more ambitious than what we were able to do, and I'm just thrilled to be a part of it. And, okay, so anyways, let's jump into 2014. Spring Training, anyone? Hosted by Little Giants. So can you give me kind of the rundown of what this contest was like, what kind of the basic idea behind this was?
It was practically like a spring training pretty much for Sorcerer's Apprentice too. And I'm kind of glad that happened because everyone really stepped up their game for Sorcerer's Apprentice too. So it was good to have a refresh, definitely. and we had 1 individual challenge and 2 working with the team, so that was cool.
Okay. So I only have 2 challenges down here. So did you get eliminated from one of them, or did I
Was
just miss
there?
one?
Maybe. I thought
The
there were
one
2 challenges and then an
I
individual.
have, the ones I have written down, I have Donald Duck's Putt Putt, and then the Jungle Show. So am I missing something?
Maybe. Maybe.
Yay, I'm unprepared.
Okay. It's okay. We're
All right,
good.
all right. Okay, so let's start with Donald Duck's Putt Putt. Now, was this one you did individually?
Um, no.
No.
Donald Duck's Putt Putt. We had a history one. Did it send to the right link?
I.
Oh my gosh.
Oh God.
Well then.
Oh, don't worry about it. So
Okay,
you didn't
moving
have anything to
on.
do with Donald Duck's Putt Putt?
I even forget who did that. I remember someone
Oh
else did
boy.
it though. It wasn't us. We did a history one over
Okay, well,
by
talk briefly about the history one. Unfortunately, I didn't read it, but go ahead and talk about it.
Okay, that's my fault. We had a history kind of version of um, a mini golf course. What we did was enclose the mini golf course in a building. It was in between Art of Animation and Pop Century, if I remember correctly. And
That's kind of I believe that's the same location that the other team ended up doing too, which I think is a very good location because I
yeah,
think Pop
definitely.
Century is it's definitely a resort that needs some sort of draw like that instead of just like,
Yeah,
ooh, hey, Disney iconography. But
yeah.
go on.
But we had like a building with history inside, and then we'd have different areas of history where you could time travel and interact with the mini golf course, kind of.
Hmm.
We brought back the dragon from World of Motion, kind of. We were gonna have a figure, and it was gonna be in there, and it was really neat. No,
Oh,
we
that's
had
cool.
like
That's cool.
it was just neat. I liked it.
Uh,
Wish I could develop a bit more.
Yeah, I'm always a fan of mini golf courses in terms of armchair Imagineering. It's always kind of like one of the fun things to do because I like things where you kind of have to get creative with the budget and kind of like,
Oh
you
yeah.
know, do things that are as cool as possible to put into a mini golf course without actually going like really crazy with it.
Mhm.
Uh, like my personal favorite golf course I've been to, Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk, awesome historic boardwalk about 2 hours from me. They have this really cool indoor golf course called Neptune's Kingdom. And what it is it's a bunch of pirates and everything. So there's like pirate animatronics, there's caves. At one point, you go up into a ship, and there's like a pirate captain who fires a cannon at a fort. It's really awesome.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, okay, anyways, do I have it right that your next project is the Jungle Show?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, yay!
Okay, we're
We're on
good.
the right
We're
track
good.
now. Okay, so tell me a little bit about this.
I think the challenge was pretty much. Now I'm unprepared. The challenge was like to do a night show for something. It might have not even been a night show. I think it was just a regular show for any of the parks.
Okay, and you guys ended up doing a night show, I believe, right, for Animal
Mhm.
Kingdom? Okay.
For Jungle Cruise at Magic Kingdom.
Oh, I'm sorry. Dude.
Yeah.
Shows how much I read it.
um, it's really interesting because I always feel like Adventureland's dead at night. So I wanted to bring something there, and Sam kind of agreed that we could have over there just to bring more people in.
I've always loved going on the Jungle Cruise at night.
Oh yeah, it's so much fun.
Oh yeah, like at this point, like I don't even think I would bother going on the Jungle Cruise during the day just because at night, the tour guide can interact with a flashlight. There's just much more of an air of mystery about the whole thing. So yeah, really good idea, really good approach there. And who are you working with this project?
Sam for D23.
Okay.
I worked with Sam with that and the mini golf course.
And how was working with him?
Oh, he's great. It was really fun. I don't remember that much, but I'm always like I talk to Sam a lot back and forth, and we usually click well. And I think did pretty good for time allotted and all that jazz. So
Okay.
yeah, it was good
All
working
right.
with him.
So spring training. What was the deal with the point system in that? Did anyone get any ICS points?
I think so. I think so. I'm not sure because it got canceled.
Yeah, that's
Um,
what ID Institute was telling me. He was telling me that
yeah,
that there were technically points, but it got canceled, so there weren't too many of them.
yeah, I
So
think that's
kind of
what
a
it
muddy
is.
situation there. Okay, so let's move on to the big one. Let's move on to The Sorcerer's Apprentice 2.
Too
Oh yeah. Now
awesome.
was there a big sort of anticipation over this game coming?
I think everyone was kind of excited. JDM always puts on a good competition.
Hmm.
Period. And this one, I think we were just excited to be on teams again. And with spring training, we were on teams of two, but this time we were in like groups.
Right. Yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, and there were a lot of new people, and it was just exciting. Like I won Sorcerer's 1, so I was like, okay, time to step up the game again. Get back.
Pardon me for a Survivor reference, but time to pull off the Sandra Diaz twine 2 times in a row. Okay, so let's see. You ended up on Team C, which
Hmm.
was consisted of you, Matt7187, Joker's Wild, Twilight Roxas, and T Cool. So did anyone kind of jump out at you right out of the gate when the game started as someone who you really clicked with and worked well together with?
Well, off the top of my head, I remember Matt because we worked on the semifinale for Sorcerer's 1. The rest I never
Okay.
really worked with, and but as the season went on, oh my gosh, like Joker and T Cool are so awesome. Like I can't express enough how awesome their concepts are.
Okay, well let me
Like
just like put a historical context to Joker's awesomeness. Let me see.
okay,
He played in oh god, let me do the math on this. He played in I believe 4 seasons of So You Want to Be an Imagineer. He won one of them, and then the other three he played in, he got eliminated right before the final project. So
that's
he has that.
crazy.
I know he has that kind of track record, and most of the time was bad luck. And if he would have gotten into the final project, he very much could have won. So yeah, Joker was easily one of the most consistent power players, and So You Want to Be an Imagineer lore. So yeah, he's a great force.
Definitely. And I think as more of the
Yeah.
season went on, I definitely saw that. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Like, definitely, I'd like to bring up Joker's night show for Disneyland Studios Paris because that is
Oh
I would have
yeah.
never
Oh
thought of
yeah.
that. That was so cool. Period. Amazing. So shout out to
Yeah, him
Joker
and
on
I
that.
kind of share an affinity for classic cinema and stuff like that. So yeah, I was very much into that project myself. Okay, let's see. So you mentioned T Cool.
Mhm. I think he kind of grew as the competition went on.
Sure, sure.
Um,
There's always that kind of player where it's like at the beginning of
yeah.
the game you're not really sure if they're going to contribute much, and then by the end they end up really surprising you.
Oh yeah, and I think Tico is definitely that.
Okay, cool,
Um,
cool.
yeah, he really started to blossom at Disneyland Studios Paris, and then just went on from there. It was really neat to see him grow.
Hmm. And then Twilight Roxas, I believe this guy was eliminated early, correct?
Correct.
All right, when was
I
he eliminated?
I think it was the first
First
round.
project?
Yeah,
Okay,
the
okay,
first
that's what I
project.
thought. Yeah, this guy, he's kind of a wild card within the So You Want to Be an Imagineer community. He kind of varies from going really far to being eliminated early, but he's a good talent all around. I
Yeah.
think he probably just, the schedule kind of caught up with him. But let's dive into it. Let's dive into your concepts for Sorcerer's Apprentice, starting with the first, I believe the first four that were pre-swap. Let's talk about the Port of Mystery and specifically the Sinbad project.
Mhm.
What was the process like in terms of creating this?
Well, if I remember correctly, well, I know for sure Disneyland Paris is just so amazing on theming and transitions. and we
Oh
wanted,
yeah, absolutely.
yeah, absolutely. And we wanted like something to transition from India to the Caribbean. There's a lot in
Okay.
there that could work, and
Right,
just a
right.
little. And someone said Sinbad, I forget who. And I'm like, what if we did a pirates version of Sinbad? You know what's cool? What about a Splash Mountain version of Sinbad? They don't have that. And I
Right,
remember
right.
you guys talked about you and Joker on one of the podcasts about the Raging Spirits. And I think the reason we didn't choose that, if I remember right, I'm not sure. I know in my head I was flashing Indiana Jones coaster right next door since they have the same track.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
makes sense. Sure,
yeah.
sure.
And I was already panicked starting out because, like, me, New Zealand, and England were on the same team for Sorcerer's Season 1. And we were all divided for Sorcerer's 2. And I knew what they were capable of, and I was so terrified. I was like, let's try to knock it out of the water with a Splash Mountain. We know
Okay,
this is
so
our
you were
character.
basically like, oh crap, I'm the winner of the first season. Is there going to be a target on my back?
110%.
Okay, I hear you. I hear you. I'm kind of going into Soul Imagineer kind of the same way, where it's like, okay, yeah, I'm the big guy who ran 12 seasons of So You Want to Be an Imagineer and won the last one, so yeah. All right, so let's see. No, I really, in terms of Sinbad, the one thing I didn't really like was how you kind of recycled a theme. But having said that, I do think that you definitely went a different direction with it, kind of making it more Splash Mountain than Small World.
Yeah, that was the hope. The one thing that JDM bring up at the end, though, was there is some stuff from 1001 Nights, not in the Middle East section of Disneyland Paris, and there is a rock egg there. And I didn't notice till the first few days. It would so upset the theming because there's Middle East at the north side, there'd be with Sinbad, and then at the south when you entered Gangsterland. And I didn't even think of that for the last few days.
Right,
So
right.
I definitely got used to that point. Hey, we got to make this work and know everything around this area to make this work.
Oh yeah. That's
That
like
was a big
especially a
refresher.
challenge. That's especially a challenge when it comes to foreign parks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because then you just mostly have to rely on Google Maps and stuff like that. Okay, so let's see. Then we move on to Gangsters de Hollywoodland. This was a big gangster-themed Hollywood project for the middle school campus Disney Park. So, what role did you have here?
I thought of the idea, and then T-Cool executed the script for it.
Okay.
And I guess what trips me up now that I look back at it, you know, after the whole competition, gangsters would work great in U.S. parks, but it wouldn't work well in Paris, I don't think.
Yeah, Joker and I did kind of bring that up, yeah.
And the more that the season went on, the more I thought, okay, what does this country, what do these people, how do they live, what do they like, and catering it to that audience, I guess.
Sure.
And I did like the idea, though, for some park at some point of doing something gangster-related like that.
Oh no, absolutely. I mean, like I said on the podcast, I really feel like one of the great lost Imagineering concepts is Dick Tracy's Crime Stoppers.
Oh, yeah.
And to do kind of like a full-blown sort of e-ticket pirate-style version of that would be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Without kind of the comic book element, or even with the comic book element. I don't know. There's a lot of possibilities you could go with it. You know, you could
Yeah, definitely.
You could even do like something like a all black and white film noir dark ride. You know, crazy stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. I really love the concept. Yeah. So, but yeah, I guess the big disconnect is really how much Paris would relate to what is essentially American gangsters. So
there's that.
Yeah, a little bit.
Just a little.
But no, overall, I do think the project came out really well. Anything else you contributed besides just the idea of the gangsters?
I did the map,
You did the
and
map.
I talked a lot. I think I was busy that week a lot, but
Okay.
I helped with certain ideas and things. And the night show was all Joker though, and again, props to that. I would have never thought of that with Disney Dreams Across the Street. That was brilliant.
Absolutely.
Oh
Absolutely.
yeah, I think it was the star of the show. I think it was so much more than Gangsters ever was. I think that's really what helped us through that
Oh.
competition.
Okay. Okay. So now we move on to Project 3, which was you guys had to make, what was this? You had to make like a sub area of Animal Kingdom themed to a country. Am I correct?
Correct.
Okay. So you guys did the Amazon. And what was the process like here?
Well, it was a 24-hour challenge.
Indeed, indeed, the first 24-hour challenge of the season.
And I'm going to share a secret. Unlike everyone else, I love 24-hour challenges for one reason. I am
Okay.
so quick at art, I can knock out something, and if it's a really good concept, we can blow it out of the water. Or at least attempt to.
I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah, so we had a solid concept for South America because I had a feeling everyone was going to go with a basic Australia or something, and
Yeah, that's definitely
yeah,
what ended up
Europe was
happening.
thrown around with us. We didn't go with that though.
No, it's
Um,
funny that Disneyland Australia, that dates way back to so you want to be an Imagineer before the contest even got started on Vision's Fantastic. We had a huge like 100-page open brainstorming thread about like a Australia park. Not
mhm.
necessarily a park themed to Australia, but a Disneyland in Australia. So it's funny, like the whole Australia thing really dates back to Armchair Imagineering lore quite a bit.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, and it does have a good audience for something eventually, I think.
Oh, for sure, for sure. As long as we keep all the memories of the terrifying film that was The Babadook out of our
I have
heads.
not seen that yet, but ever since the first podcast where you mentioned that with my pavilion, I'm like, should I watch this?
No, you should
Let
not.
everyone-
No, no. Not unless you want to be terrified of Australia ever again.
Okay, I won't watch it then. I'll take your word.
It's a terrific movie. It's one of my favorite movies of the year, but it is terrifying, and it will make you turn off to Australia quick. Oh, God. So, okay, so what in particular did you have a hand in with Amazon? I assume
I,
the art,
yeah,
obviously.
the art, and it was so hard to knock those two out. So I mostly focused on the concept and the art,
Okay, okay.
and the concept art.
Let's see. Do you guys lose anyone in between projects 1 and 3?
Yes, we lost Twilight Roxas and Matt.
Twilight Roxas and Matt. Well, I mentioned Twilight. Okay, so you lost Matt, and you mentioned you worked closely with Matt. So how was that losing him?
Um, it was kind of hard because we really tried to bounce back and step up our game for Challenge 2.
Mhm.
And the other concepts were just so much solid, though. Like Team Air's Marvel, you can't. It was
Oh
a great
yeah,
proposal.
that was really solid. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then the other for Team Land was great, too. And it was sad to see Matt go. He did have a cool idea for a ride that never came out for Challenge 2, if I remember correctly. He was going to have, like, um, 40s Marvel for like old school Marvel
Oh
and
wow.
do it
Cool.
like through the comic books like Winnie the Pooh, so you'd go through the pages of the book kind of like that. And it was a brilliant idea. We just never got to finish it to put it in
And
there.
that's kind of especially relevant right now because they actually just started the Peggy Carter show, which is set in the 1940s Marvel universe.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, so that would have been a really cool, relevant idea.
Mhm.
Okay, so yeah, you lost Matt. Did you lose him on Challenge 3? I'm assuming.
Challenge 2.
Two. Okay, I apologize. Okay, and then so anything else to say about the Amazon with Animal Kingdom?
Um, it's such a blur since it was so close.
Yeah, yeah,
Good
understandably.
concept, good effort.
A team. Okay, so the next one we have is oh, this was a big one. This was the Islands of Adventure library concept. This had a lot of cool storytelling and mythology in
Oh
place.
yeah,
Yeah, what
that
was your
was
hand
really
in
fun.
this?
I'm sorry, what was that?
I said, what was your hand in it?
Oh, I focused on the Gargoyles ride
Okay, that's
mostly,
kind of what I assumed. Yeah,
and
yeah.
the what would you call it? The promotional art. I started
Sure, sure.
Photoshop in the competition back then, so
Mhm.
yeah. So
So with the Gargoyles ride, I kind of noticed. Oh, let's see. You definitely put a lot of detail into the backstory, and I appreciated that, and I thought it was especially unique because with Disney, I feel like, yeah, Disney does a lot of IPs in their parks, but of course, us as Disney fans, we know that some of the stronger attractions are original concepts. With Universal Studios, as far as I can tell, really none of their major rides have been non-IP based. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So really, kind of taking a like the Universal brand, and let's face it, they are really one-upping Disney right now in terms of coming up with game-changing concepts and
Oh
stuff like
yeah,
that.
definitely. I totally agree with that.
Yeah, yeah. So taking that kind of stuff and applying it to a truly original concept that fits within Disney, I feel like is an inspired choice. Let's see. How do you come up with the gargoyle concept?
Well, when I was originally a kid, I grew up around roller coasters. Like, I was so close to Cedar Point, we'd drive there all over the summer. So, roller
I'm
coasters are in my
jealous. That's like
blood.
my dream park.
Yeah. And I was like, let's do something with the library instead of an IP. Because there's a ton of IPs, and I think that something without it will balance it out more.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And it was so hard to retheme the Hulk because I've never written it. Um, so I was like, okay, I'm just going to guess on this and hopefully this works out. But I tried to get this idea that these gargoyles that guard the library don't like to be awakened. And you're going into this area where they all come alive and are chasing you practically throughout this
Mhm,
entire
mhm.
attraction.
Gotta ask, gotta ask. Did you have any sort of inspiration from the Disney Gargoyle show when designing this?
I didn't honestly. Oh my
No.
gosh, and
Okay.
I didn't notice it until someone like who was it? It was England. He posted a picture at the end of it, and and it had the gargoyle characters, and I'm like, how did I not get that?
I
Like,
am
I watched
Goliath.
Disney Afternoon. That's pathetic. That is
Uh-huh.
pathetic. Oh my gosh.
Oh man. Okay, so let's see. Anything else that you really liked about this project or how it came together?
T. Cole's Matilda ride, and
Of
definitely,
course. That was a
yeah.
big fan
Oh
favorite
yeah.
aspect.
And Joker's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde ride, which was
Oh
yeah. And I didn't know how it'd work at first, but after I read the script, I'm like, oh my gosh, this just screams put it in there because it's such a
yeah.
different attraction. It was great. I really enjoyed it.
No, that's definitely another example of Joker kind of using his like sort of eye for classic horror and cinema. That's really one of his strong suits.
Oh yeah.
I bet Joker probably wishes he could just compete in a season that was all Universal Studios or Hollywood or like studio park based, so he could just go nuts with the movie concepts.
That
But
would be an interesting competition for anyone down the road who would like to.
I might consider doing that. I have a very specific theme in mind for season 13 or so. You want to be an Imagineer, but I might consider doing that for season 14.
Or
Might
I hate
consider it.
thinking everyone else, but we haven't really had any Disneyland challenges yet, and I think it's really important to do the main park resort. So eventually, someday, somebody, I don't care who, but we need to include Disneyland eventually because it's
Season 13
Disneyland.
is so you want to be an Imagineer. By all means, we'll include Disneyland projects. By all
That's
means,
great.
by all means.
I can't recall any that have done Disneyland yet, including Sorcerer's Apprentice 2. So I think
Mhm.
that'd be cool.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Well, Soul Imagineer, we had that kind of little tease where it's like I don't remember like even what thread it was on, but I think I think our Michael, he was just like, oh, you might think that having Disneyland knowledge is useless now, but it'll come in very handy in the future. And I'm like, ooh, cool.
I'm excited for that. I mean, after you visit Disneyland, you realize there's really no room for error. So I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Where it's like with
Mhm.
Disneyland, and oh my God, I have several criticisms about the way that Disney's been handling Disneyland over the past like 5 years or so. I think New Orleans Square is an unmedicated disaster right now.
With the extension of Club 33, I'm guessing.
Don't get me started. Just don't
Okay,
get me
moving
started.
on.
They basically butchered that entire land so that rich people could have more areas to hang out.
And what's
Okay,
sad is when I was okay, moving on.
yeah, that's besides the point.
Okay, sorry, don't want to
No,
get a
no.
tangent on. Okay,
Okay, so yeah, the IOA library. Did you guys have to go to the boardroom?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Okay.
Yeah,
This is
no.
stuff that I really should have more covered. Like, I think I've gotten the projects down. I just don't really have the order eliminations down. I'm working on it. It's a work in progress. I've only been doing these videos about a week or so.
It's okay. I don't think we had anyone in the boardroom. Yeah, because
Okay,
we had everyone in the next challenge, so we're good. We're good. We
gotcha,
didn't lose
gotcha.
anyone. I don't think we won though. So we're
Okay.
somewhere in that limbo.
So I believe the next challenge was the post swap. Am I correct in that?
Yes.
Okay, so post swap team, we've got yourself, we've got Voxel, T Cool, Joker's Wild, and England DG. So at this point, T Cool and Joker's Wild are kind of coming into your own on their team,
Hmm.
and you guys get Voxel and England DG. So what was
Hmm.
kind of the reaction with that? What was going on there?
I've worked with England before, and he is dangerous. Never underestimate him ever. So it was awesome to have him on my team. And he like forget content. The way he can knock out presentations is the main great thing he does, and I feel like we
Absolutely.
kind of needed that.
Yeah, yeah.
Out. Um, it's always great working with England. I worked with him in season one, chat with him all the time. Great guy. Great to have him on the team.
Yeah, I mean, he's been like by far one of the more welcoming people to the So You Want to Be an Imagineer community. He's been super supportive about the videos and everything. So yeah, England all around seems like a pleasant fellow,
Yeah.
indeed. Okay, so what about Voxel? Any experiences with him?
I did work with him a little bit before Sorcerers,
Okay,
and I'm trying to think when. We did do a few private concepts floating around, and I did work with him a little bit on other things, and he's great to work with too. Like him and England together, they're both techies, so it's awesome to have them because sometimes they have conversations and I have zero idea what they're talking about. But it's great to see everyone connect.
yeah, right. No, it's interesting because they have the Statler and Waldorf avatars right now.
I know, I love it.
Oh God. Okay, so let's see. So next project we have the ad campaign where you guys had to kind of place together your Port of Mystery and Gangsters of Hollywood into an ad campaign for Disneyland Paris. So what was your involvement in this one?
Um, I was on my road trip for this one. I went
Oh, were
from
you?
the west side of the country to Virginia and back.
Oh
So,
dear.
yeah, and all that time, it went over this challenge, the next one, and I think the one after that. Um, for this one, I did the ad spot for the art. Being in the car that long really does help because at least I can get face to face with my laptop and get crap done.
Right,
Um,
right. Yeah, like just total focus without any other distractions for sure.
oh yeah, and I guess what was nice is I got to do the ad spot, which was so hard to do in that amount of time when I'm on the road. But it really paid off. I was excited about it. And I did one poster. It was the City of Lights poster. And
Yeah,
that's what I
everyone loves the
contributed. Thank you. I enjoyed that poster.
Um, okay, so and you also mentioned, did you do the video?
I'm sorry. Can you say that again?
Did you do
Broke
the
up.
video?
I did not do the video. I did the stills for the ad video.
Okay. So you did the stills, and then who did England edit it together?
England. All
Okay,
England.
cool. Yeah, very impressive there.
Definitely.
England, man, he's kind of been mentioning. He's like, hey, I'm not getting enough credit. You guys are giving all the credit to Monorail Red. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, no, England, like your websites and everything like that are amazing, and by all means, you are a tech genius. So I just want to put that out there if you're watching.
He is. And Solo Imagineer, he is dangerous. You will want an alliance with him. Just be careful.
I'm not going to talk strategy on air.
Okay.
I'm not going to play my card.
I'm just watching this season, so I'm excited to be on the other side.
It's going to be
It's
fun.
going to be fun.
Is this really the first WDWMagic contest where it's like openly strategic and alliances and everything like that?
I mean, there wasn't much of that in Sorcerer, so I guess, yeah, pretty much.
Okay, yeah. Oh, man, it should be a good time.
Oh, yeah, I'm excited.
Okay, so let's move on to Project 6. Let's see, this was Buccaneer Cove. This was your Pirates of the Caribbean land, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what park was this in? I am sorry.
Hong Kong Disneyland.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
So, 3 major sections here. What parts in particular did you contribute to?
The art. I think I just did the art that time. I tossed around concepts going
so
back
you
and
were
forth with
still,
people.
I'm assuming you were still on your road trip when this was going on?
Yeah. Definitely.
Okay, so that makes sense that you were only doing the art. Okay.
I felt bad. I felt like I should have included more on every challenge, and I'm like, but I got the art done, so I guess it's okay. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because we have Basket Buddy, who I mentioned, who did the 3D art, and he was kind of an interesting player because for the first 4 seasons of his game, he really relied on like these epic long chunks of text to tell his projects, and they were super detailed, but at the same time, it was kind of like, this is really hard to actually read over. It's just a big time commitment. And then when he came back, he kind of had the opposite problem because he mostly just relied on images and like, hey guys, I'm going to be the image guy of a project. So I feel like you kind of strike a happy medium there. Like you're always, you're always up with the images, but also you, for the most part, whenever understandably life gets in the way and you can't do as much, for the most part, you're also contributing and writing things out.
Yeah.
So
I try to be a happy medium. I mean, that's one of my goals for 2015 in Armchair Imagineering. I want to float away from the art a little bit more and work on video and presentation. That's my main goals. So.
Cool. Yeah. Okay, so let's move on to Buccaneer Cove. I guess any concepts that stuck out in Buccaneer Cove that you really liked that the team did as a whole?
Now that I look back at it, I did do the tunnels for Buccaneer Cove.
I really like that. Cool.
I based it off of Mine Train Through Nature's Wonderland finale with all the old waterfalls going out, the colors,
of course.
Rainbow Caverns, and it was really fun. I'm such a Frontierland nut right now, so it was cool to kind of put a little bit of that into there in a nice transition piece. And definitely, I really enjoyed the our version of Pirates that we did. If you kind of remember that, I think it was an Omni.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I do. Yeah, it kind of went like kind of around the ship. I really did like that.
It was really
interesting. It kind of narrowed the focus of Pirates, but at the same time, kind of like expanding on some of the things you could do within the confines of the ship.
And then the website as a whole, just like England knocked that out of the park.
Oh, yeah.
I like when the pirate sticks out of the sea logo and all that jazz.
I love that.
It's great. I love
it. Okay. So I guess let's move on to the other 24-hour project, Disney's Embassy Resort, Shanghai. Did you do anything besides the art here?
We all kind of tossed around ideas on what to write and how to write it, but since it was a 24-hour challenge, again, I'm focused on the art. That's really my strong suit, even though I don't like. I try not to use it as much as I do, but I end up doing it.
Well, I mean, it works. I think
Yeah.
because it definitely it definitely carries you through these competitions because you're a very valuable asset to any team that you're on.
Yeah, I know. It is definitely a strong suit.
Mm. So
Yeah.
okay, so let's move on. Not much to say about the anything in particular you want to point out about that embassy resort.
I'm trying to remember. I I liked it. I liked Lands better though because it flowed better with the Adventureland in that area.
The dinosaur one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was amazing.
Yeah, Joker and I kind of had a debate about that, and I was kind of, no offense to you guys, but I was kind of
Yeah.
surprised that that he went with this over the dinosaurs because, look at me, I got my Jurassic Park shirt, it's like I
Well,
got
there's a rumor going around that Adventureland over there is going to have some dinosaur stuff, and I'm like, that would be a perfect flow,
Oh, sure,
Yeah.
definitely. Okay, so let's see. Let's move on to definitely one of the more impressive projects of the season. You guys did the Haunted Tower in Shanghai Disneyland.
I loved
This
it.
was super cool, super cool. Tons of Chinese mythology going on here. I guess let me ask you this: did you guys do any sort of research to come up with any sort of this mythology and background that you had going on?
We all did our own research. Me and T Cool did a lot of the research.
Okay.
And he tried to include most of these characters in their own spin on things. And yeah, it was really neat. I really enjoyed how much of a spin we put on it for Shanghai.
All right. Let's see. Any particular favorite scenes in there?
I remember exactly the lantern scene.
Is that the one where all the lanterns are going out to sea?
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, very striking image.
Mm-hmm. That's the first Photoshop piece I did.
Oh, cool. Right on.
Yeah, in a while. And I was taking Photoshop classes at the time, and I showed the guys this, what if we include something like this? And they're like, yeah, we got to figure this out. And from then on, I just started doing Photoshop pieces for the Haunted Tower, and I think that made something instead of like my regular Blair art. It really just brought it all together in a realistic mansion type deal.
Yeah, definitely for sure. Yeah, I took Photoshop back in 8th grade, and I was really good at kind of manipulating roller coaster images, like doing different lighting and different kind of dramatic colors and stuff like that. And I was really into it. I should really take another class in that. But so let's see. With the Haunted Tower, how do you think you guys compare to Team Land's Haunted Mansion ride?
I think I'm a very visual person, and that's a good and a very bad thing about me. I liked our visuals because when I think of the Haunted Mansion, I think dark and mysterious, and a lot of theirs were lit up, and even though their concept was solid, I think that's what threw it off for me. That's why I prefer ours.
Right. Yeah.
And that was my issue. They did put out something great. I really liked ours better, though, for that reason, though. And again, it's because I'm a visual person. It's nothing because they didn't have a great idea.
Sure.
When I think the mansion, I think dark and eerie, and that's what. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess one last question on this, or I guess one last comment. I really like the way that you guys kind of incorporated, it is, by all intents and purposes, it kind of follows the same formula of a regular Haunted Mansion attraction, kind of has the same tropes, but every scene is, incorporates so much Chinese mythology into it, and I was really impressed by that. It wasn't just kind of I love me some Phantom Manor, but Phantom Manor, by all intents, it's kind of let's add a couple characters, let's add some kind of southern elegance to the ride.
There's one thing that I hate about Phantom Manor, and it's the graveyard scene. I cannot get over the graveyard scene. It's just something that I don't enjoy.
The graveyard scene meaning the actual graveyard, or meaning the big finale in Thunder
like
Canyon?
In the canyon.
Okay,
And it's
okay.
just something I can't get over. I'm like, this should be fun. There should be fun little ghosts popping out, and here's the skeleton and the ghost being tired.
The reason I can kind of get into it is that I think that Thunder Canyon's supposed to be like a representation of kind of like this backwards evil version of Thunder Mesa.
Yeah,
And
and
I
I
think
agree
in
with
that
that.
respect, from a storyline
Mm-hmm.
perspective, I think it's cool. I
I
do
think,
agree with you that it totally throws off kind of the tone of the ride and even
yeah,
kind of the style.
I
Yeah.
like, it's a great storyline, no doubt. There's something about there not being that added humor in there that just throws me off.
I
And
hear
it
you.
does have
That's
its own humor, like, but it's not like The Mansion, and that's what throws me off really
no.
bad.
It's definitely very much more gothic and dark. I think it leans more towards the Claude Coates sensibilities than it does towards the Mark Davis
Yeah.
sensibilities. Okay, but anyways, let's move on to Project 9, Vinter Bay. Now, this was an interesting project from you guys, and I didn't really quite understand the rules because it came out with two entirely different projects.
hmm
One team, Team Land, did a whole big text-based project, and you guys basically did all videos. So you want to kind of talk about the differences there in terms of your approach?
the main challenge was to come up with something for that area of Tokyo Disney Sea, and there were a ton of hints from JDM, from maelstrom quotes to don't get frozen in your tracks, and we
Oh
were
God.
like, okay, let's look at Frozen. And it's the #1 movie in Japan. Who would have thought?
It's
Um,
the #1 movie, like, everywhere.
I know, I know. I just didn't expect that much. I thought it was
You know,
interesting.
I got into a little bit of a Facebook debate with Rob Alvey of Theme Park Review yesterday
Really?
about Frozen.
Oh my gosh.
I'll talk about it more when me and Monkey and Joker go on and do our show about Frozen in the parks. But basically, all I said was like, yeah, I'm not too happy with the fact that half of California Adventures being covered in Frozen, considering that California Adventures already got sort of an identity crisis going on. And then Rob just like jumps on me like, oh, how dare you? Oh, think of the little kids who love Frozen. You might not like Frozen, but I love Frozen. Oh, and then I'm just like, I jump back like, whoa, 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 guy. You know, I never criticized anything about the actual attractions. I simply stated that thematically, I question where they're being located. By
How
all
far
means, I
is
said,
it?
what?
I thought it was just in the dance, like, there used to be a character dance area by Monsters Inc. I thought it was just in that building. How far does it
It's
go?
it's in there. It's in Muppets Vision, and it's also in Millionaire.
Oh, not Muppet Vision.
Yeah, a sing along is in Muppet Vision. A sing along that you could get on home video is in Muppet
Oh
Vision.
my goodness.
And so basically, Rob just jumped on me, and I was like, okay, I never criticized anything. All I said was that this, I just question the logic. I question, since California Adventure is very thematically challenged as it is.
Yeah.
And but I
I
was
do.
very nice about it. I was very nice about
Mhm.
it. And I made some good points. Like I was like, by all means, I think Frozen deserves an e-ticket in Fantasyland, and
I agree.
I'm completely cool with Frozen going into Storybook Land. I'm completely cool with it going into the Fantasy Fair. I'm just not cool with it going into areas where it clashes with a theme. Guess what the
I
guy
agree.
does? He deletes my comments. Yeah. I'm sorry. I just have to get that rant out there. I don't even know where
Okay.
that came from.
It's
I'm
cool.
sorry about that.
You're fine. I agree with Frozen in the parks. I
I think there's a place for them. I just don't think it's appropriate for, Disney to just be like, oh, we have to have Frozen everywhere now.
Well, I think when this even goes back to my personal opinion on The Little Mermaid, when it was so popular, they could have included that ride in Paris and a ton of other places. There's a place for that. And now they're trying to kind of bring that idea back. And I feel like they're trying not to lose that 8-ball while Frozen's popular, and that's why they're adding all this, kind of.
Right.
But I think that I'm curious to see what they do with Maelstrom. I really am, because I can't imagine the line with the Q.
Joker is absolutely furious about Maelstrom.
I am excited to see what they do with the Q. I am either they're going to nail it or they're not. And I think I don't know how they're going to nail it, but it's Imagineering. This surprises me all the time. So
yeah.
I'm excited to see what they're up to.
Okay, well, I very much apologize for that. That was kind of a little sidetrack rant of mine.
You're okay. You're good.
Like I said, I'll definitely get more into that drama when me and Monkey and Joker Wild go on air for.
Just think of it as a warm up for that.
Yeah. Oh, I am pretty anti-TPR at this point. Okay, but anyways, Venture Bay, really quickly, what was your decision to do the series of videos?
England got moved to land, and we were like,
Okay.
oh my gosh, we need to step up our presentation right now. We were going to do an interactive map. And that's where the map comes from.
Gotcha.
Click on this certain area, and then you go to that thing. I worked on the Frozen attraction, and so far, I think it really stepped up everyone's video game as well. I do admit, the more I look at it, the text was way too fast, but. I
was like trying to read it on air. It was all good though.
I am such a fast reader. That's my problem with videos. I'm like, okay, I can read that. Move on.
I just paused the video. It wasn't a big deal.
I know. It just little things like that irritate me about it.
Well, you know what? That's why I don't do edited videos, is because, I am the exact same way. Like, in terms of, like, audio and text not matching up, like, my OCD goes off the charts with stuff like that. So, yeah, that's why I'm not an edited video guy. I very much prefer to just turn on the camera and talk.
That happens with my art, too. Like, not many people understand it, but like when I post something for a challenge or whatever, I'm like, look at that little dot right there. I have to post it, but look at that little dot.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, I think that's everyone though. Yeah.
Like I could do a podcast and people could just be like, "Oh, you're so good, you were so engaging," and then I could like point to like 3 or 4 times where I totally flubbed up and cut the show dead in its tracks. So yeah, that's just a common thing with the artistic types, I guess.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, so let's really quickly. Anything else to say about Venture Bay?
Venture Bay was good. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a note.
Okay. For some reason, I don't have Project 10 written down in my cheat sheet on that. So what was Project 10?
Was it the semifinals? It might have been the semifinals.
Was it?
I think so. Let's go with that.
Well, let me see. I have it down. I have it down here
that works.
with your post. Challenge 10. It's around the world in 11 seconds.
Yeah, that was the semifinals.
Oh,
wait, no,
okay.
That was the cruise. Backing up, yeah, that was third before the finals, so it's like...
Right.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
So, unfortunately, this is totally my fault. I just overlooked this when I was doing my notes, so I don't have much on this. I'm looking at your concept art, though, with the dragons and everything, if that is, in fact, your art.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and, yeah, it looks pretty good. Anything you can tell us about this?
We wanted to go old school World Showcase with that.
Okay.
What we wanted to was tell a story in like a spiral going up and then go straight down. Again, with my roller coaster knowledge, I really wanted to play on that. And we wanted Yeah. And what was really cool about it, we needed more of a, now that I look back at it, we needed more of a soul concept because the queue and the ride were kind of displaced. But we had Dreamfinder back as Merlin, and it was so much fun. And no one really commented about that, but me and Voxel were like, let's bring the Dreamfinder back. And I photoshopped him with a Merlin beard. I did, and it was so much fun.
Oh gosh, I remember when South Park did kind of a parody of the Dreamfinder character in their Imagination Land episode, and his big song, all he sang was "Imagination Imagination, imagination. Good times.
Good times.
I want them to make a Dreamfinder movie eventually.
I think the comics are really strong so far.
Mm. And then just build up to a big Avenger-style C movie. Yeah. Okay, but yeah, just anything else you could tell us about this?
I really enjoyed the
Oh, it
idea of
looks like
having the Welsh dragon.
you have the vertical drop. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's a really interesting coaster design. I've personally never been on it. Have you ever been on one of those?
Vertical drop. Yes.
Okay, which one did you go on?
I'm trying to think what it's called. It's at Cedar Point.
It's at Cedar Point.
Oh, it's like Is it Top Thrill Dragster? Oh.
No, Top Thrill Dragster's the one that launches you.
Yeah, I'm trying to think which one it is. It's not the Maverick. Is it the Maverick?
No, that's
No.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Okay, moving on. Moving on.
Yeah. No, it's just curious because this is definitely one of those ride systems I've not gotten a chance to ride yet that I really.
Vauxhall did a vertical drop, I think.
Did
He's
he?
ridden
That's cool.
something
That's
at
cool.
Busch Gardens, Virginia, something like that.
Well, I believe Busch Gardens already has like several vertical drop coasters in their parks.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting.
So he brought it up starting out.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. And
Gotcha.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
It's something totally different, so.
Oh yeah, for sure. I feel like Disney doesn't really experiment enough with coaster technology.
I don't think so either. And there's
and kind
so
of
much.
like, yeah, like I mean, like have you ever been on a flying coaster?
No.
Do you know what a flying coaster is?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Flying coasters, like I have a Tatsu at Six Flags Magic Mountain.
Mhm.
That thing is my favorite coaster ever. And I couldn't imagine what Disney could do with something like that. If they had like a big environment around it, you know, it's like just all these top of the line coaster technologies that they could really mix in. But I guess this is for like another open brainstorming. So
Yeah.
so
Well,
I guess
even-
huh?
Oh, even like Kuka Arm, there could be so much with that.
Oh,
like,
Kuka Arm, yeah. Oh,
that's
yeah.
a whole nother topic, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Project 11, unfortunately, I didn't really get a chance to read over too much because there was just so much of it. But this was the semifinals, and you ended up doing a series of Disney cruise ships. You did the Disney Wish and the Disney Color. Yeah.
Mhm.
I guess at this point in the broadcast, it looks like we'll probably have time to go over your Elite Eight stuff. I don't know. Do you want to try and get some questions in, or would you rather maybe concentrate more on your individual projects and your art and stuff like that after we get through with the contests?
Is there enough people for individual questions?
There's 2 viewers right now, so we could see if we get any.
Yeah, we'll give it a shot, and then if we have
Yeah,
time,
alright,
I guess.
alright.
Yeah, why not? Let's
So,
go for it.
those who are watching right now, right after me and Monorail Red finish with The Sorcerer's Apprentice, which should be in about 5 to 10 minutes or so. For right now, go ahead and start leaving your comments. Address them as questions to Monorail Red. If you want any sort of particular insight, yeah, please do so, because that would be very exciting. That would be very exciting. We will check that kind of periodically throughout the video, and if we don't get anything, then whatever, we'll move on. But so I guess really quickly, what can you tell me about these cruise ship projects?
We were trying to bring all the cruise ships to a whole nother level of immersive theming. So we did a 1920s and a 1960s feel. The colors was 60s, and then the Wish was 20s. And
Okay.
yeah, we added a Disney Quest to one of the levels, which was fun. And
I love Disney Quest.
oh yeah, definitely. And I also did a night show for the Top of the Docks, which I still want to experiment with that with. It's a projection show, and it makes so much sense more than the fireworks, I think, because and it's safer in kind of terms.
Say projections, do you mean kind of like the stuff they do? They're kind of incorporating into the rides now with Indiana Jones and the Fantasyland dark rides, like those kind of projections.
I was thinking more of like what they projected for Magic Memories and You Own Small World at Disneyland, or castle themed projections for Magic Kingdom.
Gotcha,
Like
gotcha. Okay, cool. But kind of taken to the next level, kind of a bigger scale.
Yeah, kind of like a story like Disney Dreams and Paris tells.
Okay, cool. All right, and let's see. So yeah, I wish I would have gotten the chance to look through this more. So I guess if you could just tell us, you could just tell us some of the highlights of this.
I mean, those are really the highlights that I can think of.
Disney Quest and the show.
The nightclubs were fun to do. We did one that looks like called Constellations, and it had like a whole star top that was rounded. We brought back the Adventures Club too, and that was fun. On such a tiny thing, I had to make it work, but it was so much fun. I love the Adventures Club. I got to see it before it closed. It was great.
Oh yeah. Now, who worked with you on this? Like, what was the team down to at this point?
It was between me and Voxel, and then England and Zealand were on the other team.
Okay. So it ends up, I guess, Voxel is eliminated here, and then England's eliminated on the other team?
No, it was final death. So it was either Zealand against England in the end, or me against Voxel in the end.
Oh, okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So then that ended up what was happening, and so let's move on to your Brazil Disneyland resort. Yeah, so now was there sort of like an apprentice style, like let's bring back contestants to work on this?
That's exactly what happened. England brought me to his team because him and Zealand won. And they were like, hey, Red, you want to come and do some art? And I'm like, okay.
Oh, wait, I was under the impression that you won this whole thing.
No, it was Zealand.
You people are liars! Liars!
No, not me. As much as I'd like to take the credit, no.
Okay, now I feel really stupid because in my interview with ID Institute, I was probably really confusing him. Because, like, no, man, Zealand ended up winning the whole thing. And I was like, yeah, but MonorailRed's, she ended up winning it. So does that mean there were two winners? And oh god, I'm stupid.
I won season 1. Maybe that's. I won season 1, and then Zealand won season 2. So.
And then you won the Elite 8, so that's probably
where
the disconnect came from.
I don't. Yeah. Probably, yeah. Okay.
Okay, so just really quickly, what were your big contributions with Brazil Disneyland?
Logos, art, and I did all of Frontierland, which I was really proud of. I think that really turned out fun. And England made a video for Frontierland and all the concepts that came up. Oh yeah, and it's great. It was.
Is it in there? Can we play it? Really? How long is it?
How long it is? I'm guessing 5 minutes off the top of my head.
Okay, that's too long to play.
Yeah. Check it out on Walt Disney World Magic.
No, yeah, I'll provide a link to everything too.
Yeah.
That's probably something I should have done for ID Institute as well, and for all of you guys who are doing these career retrospectives, just provide links to all the projects you worked on. Okay, so you did your artwork. That turned out really well, and so yeah, you ended up. Is this the winning project?
It was not the winning project.
No.
But I gotta give my props to Zealand and Teamland because I loved their idea for another part. It was such a cool idea what they did. And the website that they used and everything that they put together for it was
Sure.
Yeah, definitely. I loved the story that they put together and what they included. Props to them. Still, I really love that concept.
Okay, so at this point, how many? Do you remember how many points you'd acquired for the Elite 8?
Not a clue. I don't really follow the point system. I'm just like, I'll compete and see what happens. I mean, I know that's sad to say, but I really don't care about the points. I just don't. But not that I don't like being in the Elite 8. It was fun. I just never pay attention to the points.
I get you. Is it like whose line is it anyway for you, where the points just don't matter?
Yes, exactly. Speaking of whose line is it anyway, we were coming up with a concept a while back of kind of like ID Institute's think tank of doing on Friday nights or something, whose park is it anyway, and just doing random concepts on one night of the week with everybody.
In terms of like brainstorming and threads and stuff like that?
So,
yeah. Well, I mean, I've been
Okay.
playing around with my park builders concept. Excuse me, with my park builders concept, which would be kind of a similar idea, but instead of getting on a thread, it'd be people on a video, kind of
Mhm.
hashing out ideas. So I think both of those ideas could work out
Oh
well.
yeah, I think there's tons of ideas from everyone lately. I think the Imagineering forum's really blossoming into something that's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see what it turns out to be.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. I can't. I am so stoked to be a part of it moving forward and to provide all the videos and everything. I'm really happy. But okay, so really quickly, let's get on to the Elite Eight. We've already talked about all three of your projects, so I guess Disney's Fine Arts and Pavilion. You were up against Voxel's Naturalistic Project. I did have some criticisms about this because I did think
Hmm.
like, I did think like this is something that would work really well in Epcot. I'm not sure how people entering Walt Disney World for the first time, fine arts, it's just kind of a disconnect in terms of like when I think Disney, I don't necessarily think fine arts. So what was your thinking process here?
My thinking process is from somebody who always stays on property. So, like, my fondest memories of the Transportation and Ticket Center is like you go there to get on the Epcot monorail.
Okay.
And I wanted it to make more sense in the area. I wanted, like, so that's where I thought of the pavilion idea, but I also wanted it to transition from the hotels around it and the Magic Kingdom. So that's why I chose white and blue. And there
All right.
was,
All
yeah,
right.
and there was a rumor for a Mediterranean themed hotel at the beginning of Walt Disney World, and I wanted to bring
There
that in.
was. Yeah, you're right. You're
Yes,
right.
and I wanted to bring that in like a kooky way that wasn't like screaming, "Oh, this is a way to bring it back," but this is something new that DVC can get their hands on, and I feel like there's a disconnect of fine arts at Downtown Disney, and I felt like this would be a neat place for that.
Exactly.
And also
Exactly.
with the blue and white, it'd be a good transition to the Magic Kingdom's colors.
Okay, and
Again, I'm visual.
I can also argue now. I can definitely see how putting the fine art stuff connecting to Epcot kind of makes more sense. I can see it.
Hmm.
Okay, it just feels like it's a little too much, but by all means, I think you were going in the right direction
Yeah.
with this.
I thought go big or go home because Voxel is an amazing competitor. And I was like,
Sure, sure.
okay, I'm gonna do some. That was my whole strategy throughout the Elite Eight. I'm gonna do something so out there that it's either gonna win or not.
Right,
That
right.
is, yeah. So that's what I did.
Okay, so moving on, you've got Project 2, where yeah, thanks for stealing my idea for a twist on So You Want to Be an Imagineer. Walt's Vault. Thank you very much.
Oopsies.
No, I'm just
Um,
playing. No, this was a really interesting kind of elaborate thing you got going on. As I said in the podcast, I think the biggest strength you have here is World of Color could be a really good show if there was something more to it than just like, ooh, dancing waters and Disney scenes.
mhm. I
And
feel
I
like it
feel
could tell
like,
a story,
yeah,
and
exactly.
I feel like I've seen Color, and it's a bunch of mashed up, but I feel like with characters and with fireworks, it could really unite it into something super special that Disney's never done before. And yeah, I really wanted to play along with that.
Yeah, like for right now, I feel like what Disney actually has in World of Color is it's more or less a tech demo for the water fountains and stuff like that. And I also feel like World of Color goes on for way too long. Like those shows are like what, like 35 minutes of just water fountains. So I definitely have my issues with it. I haven't seen it live, so I can't really comment that
The
way.
water's absolutely beautiful though live.
I'm
I mean,
sure it is.
it is
I'm totally
amazing.
sure it
Like
is.
that totally distracted me from the storyline. I'm just like, look at all the pretty fountains. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But it
So
was
you want
great.
to be an Imagineer? We did a really cool project back in, I believe, season 10, where we had everyone retheme World of Color, and they had to make Ludwig von Drake into the main character and narrator.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, yeah, because kind of tie it back to the original show. It
Mm-hmm.
worked out really well. It came out with some really good concepts.
That is really well. That
It
is
did.
neat. It would work, definitely.
I guess so. Let's address the big criticism people had with this, which was you had a really elaborate way to get people into the theater,
Oh
very
my goodness.
creative, very very elaborate, very creative, very ambitious, but a little bit questionable in terms of decent crowd control. So, what's your
Hmm.
defense to that?
I have zero defense to that.
You're just like, I want it to be cool.
Well, my idea was, I guess my defense, if I have a defense, there is a path from, it's different from Disneyland in the sense of there's a path to get to Fantasmic. And I feel
Okay.
like Disney is not using that path enough to tell a big story about this night show. Because if you're funneling people in a certain way, you should be able to tell a decent storyline to keep going to make them want to move forward to the auditorium, what you call it?
Yeah,
Audience?
yeah, for sure, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. And I really wanted to use that. Now, funneling people in the way I did probably wasn't the best idea. But
I mean, yeah, at this point
yeah.
with Disney parks, it's like crowd control should be a #1 concern.
Oh yeah, that's one thing I do want to bring up with Disneyland though. They are the best crowd control I've ever seen.
Do they?
Like, oh yeah, so much better than Walt Disney World in my opinion. I think they
Because
totally
I've
exceeded
not
that.
been to Disneyland in a couple years, but from everything I've heard, the off season of Disneyland is all but evaporated and it's always crowded. But I guess so you're saying in terms of just how the people actually manage the crowds, it's really effective.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so you're still going to go in and get big blocks of people everywhere, but it's just not going to be as distracting.
Yes,
Okay, okay.
definitely.
Well, that's good to know. That's good to know. Uh, all right, so let's see. Let's move on to your revived World Showcase. I'm just going to go ahead and list off your countries that you did. You
Okay.
did you did Greece,
Hmm.
Ireland, Honduras, Jordan, India, South America, or I'm sorry, South Africa, Australia, and Thailand. So I guess really quickly, what out of these showcases, what was the one that you had the most fun working on?
India,
India?
actually. Definitely India, because I got to do the art for the Taj Mahal, and then from the map you could kind of see Taj Mahal's the introduction, and then you really get into the streets of the place.
Sure,
And
sure,
yeah,
yeah.
and that's what I found fun on what to put where and that kind of thing. Thailand was fun too, though, and South Africa. Those three are probably a tie.
Okay, okay, cool, cool. Any one of them that was especially a challenge to come together?
You know, of all places, Ireland,
Really? Okay.
really. I was just, and it's just the place I chose the pavilion to go. I wanted so much more to it, and I should have picked a bigger land spot. And I tried to
Yeah,
include
yeah.
everything in certain places, and it could have been more than I wanted it to be. So,
All
I
right,
mean,
all
it could have
right.
been more than it turned out.
Yeah, I mean, you're working with 8 different pavilions here, so it's kind of
Hmm.
understandable that some of them are going to be better than others, or
Oh yeah.
less well fleshed out than others.
Hmm.
Let's see. Okay, what else do we have here? We have any thoughts on designing? What was your thought process involving Jordan? Besides just it's a country in the Middle East that's safe. Is that really the only thing that went into it?
Um, it's one of the top five countries for U.S. visitors to travel in the Middle East,
Okay,
and
okay.
it's the safest. And actually, if I'm right, I'm probably wrong, but I might be right. Um, the Queen of Jordan is from the U.S.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And
Huh.
fun fact about Jordan, the king, I think, he's a big Trek fan, so they're doing a Star Trek theme park there,
Oh,
which
wow.
I think that's hilarious. In the middle of
So,
Jordan
yeah,
with a
it
Star
sounds
Trek
like
theme
they'd
park.
be very accompanied to Disney.
That's what I thought. Well,
Okay,
except
okay,
for Star Trek, that's a whole different story. But moving on.
those are some, yeah, what if they're just like, no, you have Star Wars?
No.
We are Trekkies. No Star Wars. Oh god, and it just turns into a giant mirror battle from that point.
That would be really funny to find an article on, though.
It's like, okay, let's get into some dark humor for a second. It's like Jordan and Disney start World War III because one country is a Star Wars fan and one country is a Star Trek fan.
I have never seen either, which is really pathetic. So I'm so impartial. Like, it's sad.
Yeah, to tell you the truth, I don't really. I think Star Trek is a little dry, and I think Star Wars is a little oversaturated. So yeah, that's my personal take. Uh, okay, so let's. What else do we have to get to here? Anything else about the countries in the World Showcase?
I don't think so. That's all I
Okay.
can really think of for the moment.
Okay, so you won the Elite Eight. What was your reaction to winning?
Well, first and foremost, I was kind of concerned for England because there's never like a post he doesn't post something.
That's true.
Anything.
That's true.
And
Yeah,
I
I
was
remember
like,
that was kind of like
okay?
what was
What's
going
going
on.
on?
That was what was going on right when I got to the board. I think everyone was like, "Hey, where's England at?"
Yeah, and I
Uh-huh.
can't remember one post that he hasn't posted, and I was like, "Are you okay, dude?" And then finally he was like, "Yeah, I just didn't have time." And I felt bad. If he ever wants to post it again, England, shout out if you want to. I'd love to see what you had in mind, even a little bit. I think we
Yeah,
had two
certainly,
different.
certainly.
Well, he grew up with the original cut, and the latest I remember is 100 Years of Magic with the big wand. So I think we have two different
Right, right.
approaches on what to do with the World Showcase.
Exactly,
So,
exactly. Oh God. Okay, so I guess we have a solid half hour to go if you're okay with staying that long.
oh yeah.
Okay, so maybe we'll sign off a little bit earlier than that, but I guess the big thing that I want to go over with you now that we've kind of covered the Elite Eight retrospective is let's talk about some of your art, some of your
Okay.
personal projects that you've been working on. So you sent me along with the competitions that you were in, you sent me all the logos that you worked on. So do you want to kind of maybe use the logos as an example to talk about your art style?
Sure, sure.
Okay, since I have them pulled up right here, let me get to a screen share really quick. Screen share. Okay. All right, there we go. So what is this for?
That's for the ICS awards.
ICS awards. Okay. Oh, I like that. Just a Dreamfinder and Figment kind of Oscar.
Yeah. It was really just for everyone on the forum to be recognized, and Sam did a video on it,
Cool,
and it
cool.
should be on there. So I guess with my art, what I try to do is I like big blocks of certain colors, and you can kind of tell that in every piece. Of course, I
Definitely.
get my two favorite artists are Blair and Roy Lichtenstein, and I
Okay.
love bold colors in anything I do and big blocks of color to create something. And I guess my process is I sketch something out from a picture or in real life, and then I scan it, and then I go ahead and go on Adobe Illustrator and do big blocks of color on it from what I know,
Got
from what
it.
I've
Got
seen.
it. Cool, cool. Okay, Adobe Illustrator. Need to keep that
hmm
in mind. Okay, let's see. So let's go down Imagineering Hall of Fame. I'm assuming some of these logos may have been more Photoshop.
Um, no, actually.
No, they were still Adobe Illustrator.
Yep, I did the castle and the wand, which,
Okay. Okay.
well, and the Mickey Mouse hand. Mickey Mouse hand was a pain if I remember correctly. But the one on the
I always
bottom,
have problems drawing fingers and drawing them
just
proportionately and everything.
um, the one on the bottom was just a concept, and then we ended up with the gold one on top for the Hall of Fame.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
I like
Okay,
to give
let's see.
choices if I'm offered to do logos, so
For sure, for sure.
yeah.
So we have the ICS Imagineering Championship Series. Very professional looking. What was this? What was Matt and Zwayland's wed car race?
That started in early 2014,
Okay.
and theirs was like wed car, so create a resort instead for the car part. And I wasn't in it. I don't remember much. All I remember was doing the logo. Yeah, I can't really explain much. I'm sorry.
All right, fair enough. No, it's okay. Yes. I don't think these logos are probably the best example of your art, so maybe I'll pull up to some of your more thematic stuff. I really like the Sorcerer's Apprentice one, though. Because
I like doing that. That was fun.
It's just a total takeoff of the actual Apprentice logo. And
I know, that's what I so tried to do. I was like, it is the Apprentice, so that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. And then kind of like the silhouette of Jensen kind of like looming over his trump. And then Mickey, he's got like, what does Mickey have? Is that a wand?
It's a paintbrush.
Oh, a paintbrush. Okay, I gotcha. Oh, that's good. Okay, let's see. Here we have kind of some of the more, so you want to talk about kind of your process in terms of doing stuff that's more like these kind of landscape type things?
Yeah. So I guess what I think of is I start with an idea.
Mm-hmm.
For this, it's an enclosed theme park project with Voxel that we worked on before Apprentice, and I think we're still working on it. We haven't worked on it in a while. I guess the idea for this one originally was, if you know in Disneyland, in the front of Fantasyland is more like a village area.
Sure.
So I thought like Arendelle Castle would be more the villagey theme, and then in the back, Elsa's would really set it apart. So this is all like Anna and Elsa's castle together.
Huh. Okay.
And I guess what I do is go from the concept and then make it pretty.
Well, you definitely have a lot of layers to it. I think that's one of the things you're really good at.
It has a million layers.
Yeah.
And in Adobe Illustrator or anything that I use, if you want to do block art and color like that, use the pen tool, period.
Do you do kind of like a little bit of a sort of like a paint by numbers type system where you lay it all out and you get like kind of these big blocks, then you fill the color in as you go and make it look like all planned out?
Not usually. Like on my original art for that, the flowers weren't there, and it was just like the solid bricks where the water's coming out. Some of it I add too. But like for the complicated stuff, like the castle and
right, yeah.
Like I like to block things out for sure, but the art usually turns out different than what it's scanned in to be.
All right. Okay, let's go down a little bit. Let's see what else we got. I'll talk about a little bit of this stuff a little later, maybe. But I wanted to go down to some of your generic art projects in 2014. Okay. See if you wanted to talk a little bit about those. So let's see what's going on here. I'm assuming this is kind of Photoshop stuff.
Yeah, I did a lot of Photoshop back in this fall because I had the Photoshop class.
Right, definitely.
I took a picture of a grandfather clock, and
oh wow,
yeah, and I edited it from there on that, and I had to paint every little snowflake, and I will never forget painting every little snowflake in that picture.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Let's see, we got the very striking, different colored. What is that? A baby buffalo.
For the record, I absolutely love buffalo. Don't ask why, I just do. So, if you ever want to win red on your team or whatever, just send a picture of a buffalo or something.
Oh, God.
Okay. So, yeah, I guess I did a few in that series, and it's just painting one buffalo a different color.
Interesting.
Yeah, I kind of thought of the Wizard of Oz, how the horse changes color.
Right.
Bolder colors, and it really made one stand out in a different picture than you would think in a snapshot or whatever, and that was kind of fun to do.
Gotcha. Okay, and then we have we have this another buffalo.
Another buffalo.
Yeah, this is kind of like one of your more traditional kind of Mary Blair-esque pieces. Anything you can tell
Yeah.
us about this?
I actually went to a national park in South Dakota, and buffaloes were surrounding the car.
Oh
So,
wow! Oh, that's
yeah, I did
cool.
that this summer, and I took a million pictures, and I can jumble them
Uh-huh.
up, and I made this picture of this buffalo, and it's just really fun to do that kind of stuff and
Right,
base it off
right.
of what you've seen.
Exactly.
And I
Yeah,
enjoyed
yeah.
that.
I had like a really good camera for a while, and then I did this really stupid move. I was doing it was basically a cooking show parody with with one of my friends, and I was like,
Hmm.
hey, you know what would be a good idea? You know what would be a great shot? If you just took a whole bunch of flour and just threw it right in my lens. It
Oh my
came out a
gosh.
pretty funny video, albeit a video with a lot of obscenities in it, but it was not worth the $300 camera. That
I
kills
bet.
me. That kills me. Okay, so let's kind of quickly go over some of this other stuff you have here. So let's see. Trying to find okay, you talked about the enclosed theme park. Anything you want to share about the Australian Magic Kingdom concept?
I'm sorry. Oh, the Australian Magic Kingdom Park concept.
Yeah, just really quickly,
It
kind of
ran
just
a
go over everything you shared.
number is coming up with that castle because I wanted to make it more Blair instead of something you just copy from Tokyo and Orlando. So
Okay, okay, gotcha. All right, let's talk about I guess really quickly anything you have to say about this DVC brainstorm that you sent me, or do you not remember much about it?
about what? I'm sorry.
You sent me a link to a thread that was DVC brainstorm. I just wanted to know if you wanted to bring anything up from it.
Hey, you said concepts or anything, so I was just like, I didn't do much brainstorm in 2014. Here's one thing I did.
Right, right. Okay, well, let's talk about one of your projects. I'm really interested, and I believe you approached me about this, talking about the kind of the geographical, sort
I'm
of
sorry, could you
logistics
say that
here.
again? I'm just gonna ditch the earbuds for a second.
What?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you through my earbuds. Could you say that again for some reason?
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, so let's talk about something that I believe you actually did approach me on just to kind of get my input on the geography, which is the Western Tram Expedition project at Disneyland.
Yeah, I'm still working on it. A lot of people know I've been going into this, but for
Hmm.
all the world, I'm working on a remake of Western River Expedition, but I'm using it with suspended coast and I'm trained of a riverboat. Um,
Okay.
I have a lot of sensations, like feeling Peter Pan through the sky, going through London, but instead going through the Wild West and a lot of Disney's technology right now. A lot of Blair instead to make it to mix
Indeed,
with fantasy.
indeed. All right, let's take a look at. Oh, what is this creature right here? It kind of looks like one of the wild things.
I didn't even think about that. Instead of an owl for the Western River Expedition, I'm going to use an armadillo.
Oh, an armadillo. Okay, okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, and that or a prairie dog. I haven't decided yet, but that's
Oh.
my armadillo concept. Try to make it very Davis-esque.
Yeah.
And it's just going to go along and be the narrator for the ride, kind of like the Ghost Host is. It's going to show you through different things.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, we got some concept art for the mine train. You got the banditos with the horses with the bandanas on their head. That's a classic
Here's
kind of
something
iconic.
I want to bring up with this scene.
Yeah.
Plan is the guests go through this train, and the banditos are blocking the gold mine.
Hmm.
So it's going to be a Hong Kong Disney-like sensation of the rope pulling from Grizzly, their Big Thunder, and it's going to shoot, and then the guests are going to go backwards, like their rope just gave out because they shot it.
Okay, I got you. I got you.
That
Cool,
makes
cool.
it all. Okay, good. I'm
All
excited for
right.
that. It'd be a cool scene.
Yeah. This looks stuff that's like pretty much like taken off of Western River, not in a bad way, of course, but
Yeah.
just
If
all
you
this
notice in
Bandito stuff.
the train, Walt Disney World's Big Thunder, it kind of has a nod to Mark Davis. So I wanted in this, if you look at the guy in the train, it's actually Tony Baxter, or I tried to make it Tony Baxter.
I can kind of see it,
So,
yeah. Oh God. Oh, Tony
yeah,
Baxter destroyed Western River Expedition. No, I'm
he's
just.
great. I love his projects. I love his
Oh
projects.
no, of course, but he did
Of course.
destroy Western River Expedition for all
And those are
intents and
just some
purposes.
things I'm still working on. Both of those.
Yeah, and I like how you can see the suspended tracks. I think I can
Mhm.
totally see the kind of kinetic energy you're going on here.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think Disney parks haven't invested into roller coaster technology enough, and that'll add another type of
exactly,
technology for.
exactly. I really like this painting because it's just I really like the lighting on it, the striking colors, really good job there. Let's see, kind of a hand drawn
And
one
that's
here.
that is going to be flying over Western Mountains, and there's going to be some wolves in the background, which you kind of see shaped out. So
Okay,
you can
okay.
see where my art derives from. Everyone now you know.
Cool, cool. Uh, yeah, I kind of told you this, when you asked me about it, but I definitely think there's a lot of room back there for a really big attraction. You got the Big Thunder Ranch, you got the Feast of Fools Arena, you've got the backside of the Rivers of America going all the way into the Native American encampment. So yeah, I think you got a really solid concept going on here.
Yeah, and it'll rely more on story than anything else, which I think really makes Disneyland's projects great. So I think it'd be a nice
Of
addition.
course, sure, sure. All right, so I believe that's about it, unless there's anything else you want to be a cover.
Nope. Did any comments pop up or?
Well, let's see, let's see. I can check. Hold on one sec. I believe Joker has made a couple like very generic comments, but I don't think we got any specific questions yet. Let me refresh my page. Nope, as far as I know, I don't think we got any questions, unfortunately.
Okay.
So, but hey, yeah, there we go. Really good time. Hold on, let me. There we go. There we go. Yeah, had a really good time doing this. Thought it turned out really well, and
Mm-hmm.
of course, good luck with your future ventures in 2015. And I look forward to at least hearing from you every so often in terms of following our contest and everything like that.
Oh yeah. Remember, guys, it's not goodbye. It's a see you later.
Yeah.
So.
So I'm very glad that I got to get this interview in before you took off. Very relieved about that. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think it turned out rather well. One of the longer interviews we've done, but one of the more prosperous as well. So yeah, good job. Good job.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see, guys. In terms of the future schedule, I believe that me and Joker's Updates are actually going to do the cat. I'm sorry, Joker's Updates. Joker's Updates is a website that covers Big Brother live feeds. Me and Joker's Wild are going to be doing the cast assessment for the Soul Imagineer sometime the next couple days. We'll also be finishing up with our retrospective on Sorcerer's Apprentice. I'm going to be interviewing England very quickly. Sam will be interviewing me. Lots of cool stuff coming up. Lots of cool stuff. So thanks once again for coming on, Monorail Red. It's been a pleasure.
Anytime.
All right, and we will see you guys later. So yeah, keep on believing, people.